The world is always trying to get us to sell out on our faith, always trying to get us to give in, make compromises. We don't want to be like that. We want to be people who stand firm for the Lord, okay? Our psalm today is Psalm 1. It's found on page 738 of your hymnal. We're singing response 2. I think it should be familiar to us. Like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. Let's sing that together and then we'll read. Like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. Blessed are those who do not walk in the counsel of the wicked, but their delight is in the law of the Lord. They are like trees planted by streams of water that yield their fruit in season, and their leaves do not wither. Like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. The wicked are not so, but are like chaff which the wind drives away. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous. Like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. Psalm 1 is the best psalm to begin the Psalter. The Psalter is like the most ancient hymnal, 150, 151 Hebrew, then Greek songs that were chanted together by people in the temple, and then people in synagogues, and then people in churches. The very opening one sets up two ways of life: the way of the righteous and the way of the wicked, the way of the wise and the way of the foolish, the way of the light and the way of the dark. And guess which side we're on? This one. So y'all are all going to hell, okay? That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. But there's a right way to do life, and there's a wrong way to do life. And the right way is marked by goodness, wisdom, knowledge, righteousness, godliness, holiness, all of these things. And then those who are not like that are considered the chaff, okay? So there are different metaphors in this one. One is when you harvest wheat, there's something called a threshing that you do, where you cut down all the wheat, you get it on the threshing floor, and then you have these big, I think they're called threshers, I don't know, these big forks, and you throw them up in the air, and the chaff is the no good parts that have no nutrition, and it just blows away in the wind as it falls down. And it says that's what wicked people are like. They don't matter. They have no value whatsoever, okay? And that's in the final judgment. They will not stand in the judgment. It's saying everybody is going to be called to account for how they've lived. Those who are not rooted in Christ are not going to make it. So we don't want to be like them. Rather, we want to be like these trees, okay? A tree that's planted by the water, that's roots grow deep, and it's always producing fruit, and its leaves don't wither. I feel like a hypocrite right now. We got a dogwood growing out in front of my yard. We haven't watered it right, and it looks terrible, okay? And that's not how we want to look. Spiritually, we want to be bearing fruit for the Lord, right? We want to be healthy and vibrant. We want to be not, here we saying, like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved, So in this reading from James we're about to have, it's going to say something really hard. It's going to say, don't you know that those of you who are friends with the world are enemies of Christ? Because you cannot be friends with the world if you are a friend of Christ. It says that out and out. The world is always trying to get us to sell out on our faith, always trying to get us to give in, make compromises. We don't want to be like that. We want to be people who stand firm for the Lord, okay? Who are not compromised, who are not giving in, but are maintaining the standard and the banner of Christ. And so that's what this psalm is about. It's very difficult to go through life and remain holy. Life is trying to compromise all of us. So here, part of the reason we're coming together is to kind of encourage one another. We're going back out into a world that wants us to compromise, that wants us to sell out, that wants us to be agreeable, that wants us to be friendly to the point that our faith is compromised. And we need to get together and say, no, we have a better way to live, and that is standing for the standard and the banner of Christ.